clock may also be an issue here in the second half. So if that is the case, this half is going to be sped up a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a lot of Blake Anders this half, and of course he's a great quarterback himself, so he's got a lot to do.
Yeah, we saw him actually in the backfield as a running back a little earlier in the game, so probably going to see him under center too, so showing his versatility.
Right, and he's a wide receiver. Like you said, he's a running back and a quarterback, so Coach Zavonar and Coach Gavey, they can put him anywhere they like.
Well, Central kicked off to begin the game, so Lincoln Way is going to be kicking to Central. They'll have an opportunity to kind of get things going here in the second half.
Will had a chance to rest his leg just a little bit, but let's see if he'll have the same workload this half. I think Coach Zavonar very proud of his team, scoring 42 points in the first half. I read a story on ESPN last week. He said he was amazed that they scored 36 points in that first half, so he must be really excited right now.
36, 42, those are great numbers to put up for a game, so to do that in a half is really impressive. I mean, I'd have to do a little math here. Let's see, 42, 36, that sounds like about 78. Outscoring their opponents 78-0 in the first half the last two games.
That's great. The defense has been great, and now it's kickoff time. Will has his arm up, and here's the kick. A great kick from Will. No squib kicks right now, so the Knights will return it. He's on his way, but he'll be brought down again. Not really great kick returns by the Knights this game.
Okay, well, we'll see what adjustments the Knights made. When you're down that many points, there's probably a lot of things that went wrong. I mean, it wasn't just one or two little wrinkles that you have to address. It was pretty much a full-scale failure. So I don't know if they went back to the drawing board or what, but, I mean, I'm curious to see what they do. I think they'll probably get things going a little bit here.
Well, maybe they'll start the pass play. We don't know what's in that coach's playbook, so we'll have to find out. They come out differently. They come out in an I form. Actually, no, I thought that was not an I form. They're in their regular position. And they'll run it up the middle. He breaks the tackle on a few good blocks. I think he'll get the first down.
Yeah, and that is with the exception of a penalty, a roughing the punter kick, which was an automatic first down. I believe that is their first down that they earned. So a great way to start the second half, trying to establish that run.
Yeah. Just a little run to start the second half. 1st and 10. Clock running. Of course, with the run, we might see the running clock you talked about. Like maybe if they run out of bounds, or if they get a pass and they throw out of bounds, the clock could run. But he will hike the ball. Another run up the middle, and about a gain of 1.
Kind of like the Griffins were saying, whoa, hold on a second. I don't like that first down business. This is more like it.
Griffins retaliated after that first play. Clock running, 10:30 left. And the Knights will get their play. It is 2nd and 8 on the 39-yard line. He's got one wide receiver on his left and one on his right, so we don't know what to expect right here. Maybe another run play. He twitched a little bit right there, so lost a little bit of timing. So get a gain of about, I'd say, 2 or 3. Clock running. Ball on the 41-yard line. 3rd and 6.
Well, 3rd and 6. That's one of those sort of tweeners. If you were East, you could probably run the ball on 3rd and 6 the way we have been running the ball. But if you're Central, generally this would be a pass down. Now, that being said, they have not been able to protect their quarterback real well, so they could do anything.
Yeah, we'll see right here. If we gave it off to Tyler Stark, I bet he could get a first down there. Knights will send a man in motion a little bit, but I think he'll keep the ball for himself. No first down, though. So they'll be forced to punt.
Well, believe it or not, I look at that as a success. Okay, they got a first down. They didn't lose yardage even after the first down. They got 6 or 7 yards. So, they went out and they gained 7. They had a 17-yard drive, which doesn't sound like much, but it's an improvement. So, the next item of business is stop the Griffins' offense, get the ball back, and see if you can improve on what you just did offensively.
Yeah, and the Griffins experimenting on punt returns. Now Vince Teodoro is returning punts instead of Jay Yancey, but he'll just let it go, and it'll end up on the 26.
Kind of an interesting punt. The Knights punter, he sort of let the ball drop too low. Usually you want to kick the ball at about, probably about waist high. And he really let that ball drop. He kicked it right off the ground, and as a result, it was a low line drive kick. Got a pretty good bounce, though, so the Griffins are going to start, it looks like, at their own 26, their own 31-yard line, which is, probably the worst field position they've had, believe it or not.
Well, they could do anything here. They converted on first. They got a touchdown first and 32, so anything can happen here. But he'll run it up, and looks like maybe a loss of 1.
And Winkler is not in the game. So with the big lead, they're going to rest their starters, but also give the second-string guys an opportunity, which is great because you are going to have injuries, you are going to have guys get nicked up, and you are going to need people to contribute that don't always. So I like what they're doing here.
Yeah, Blake Anders, he's a junior, 5'10", 155 pounds, also a wide receiver, but he could also play running back, as we saw earlier.
Well, Blake Winkler is pretty entrenched as a quarterback, and he's only a junior, so he's obviously going to be around next year.
Yeah,
so if you're Blake Anders, absolutely, let's shore up that second-string quarterback position, but also show what you can do running the ball and catching the ball from the wide receiver position. So being versatile is going to be a key for him.
And they'll take that. It's 3rd and 5. Just a little run play. Keep the clock running. 7 minutes. About 7 minutes left. Anders now running back and forth to the sideline. Winkler getting a break at that. In their wing formation, he'll run the ball up the middle. No first down, but keeps the clock running for the Griffins. So Sean Pyatt will come out.
I believe that's the first 3 and out for the Griffins offense, but obviously a little bit more of a conservative style with the big lead.
Sean Pyatt, a very good punter. He has showed that he could punt the ball very far, and if he's close enough, he could get a touchback. Here's Pyatt, the lefty punter. That was almost roughing the kicker, so.
Well, I believe the central player got a hand on the ball, and as a result, there is no roughing the kicker. If you get a hand on it, then all bets are off.
Well, still went decently far, so it looks like the Knights will still be in their own field position. Yeah, ball at the 49, so barely. They got 1 yard to go till they enter Griffin territory, or 2 yards. Sends a man in motion. He will hike the ball. He's going to fake. Here's another action play. Well, he gets sacked. Almost sacked. Here comes the ball. Incomplete pass.
He had a little bit of time to throw there, but he probably hung on to it for just a little bit too long. He really got hit right in the chest as he released that ball, just a little bit high. Not a bad pass. Looked like his receiver also may have kind of given up on the route a little bit. Obviously, as a quarterback, it's very frustrating when you don't have time to do anything because you can't do your job. You literally cannot do your job unless you're given a little bit of time. Now, he had some time there. He probably could have gotten rid of the ball just a little bit quicker.
But in favor of the Griffins, it is 2nd and 10. Single back formation. He'll pitch the ball in the backfield. He will get a gain of about 2, so he'll be in Griffin's territory.
I think that was Meehan that came up and just blew up that play before it could turn into anything.
Meehan, a very good defender. He could take guys down when he wants to. 50-yard line, so 1 yard to go till they enter Griffin's lair. Sends a man in motion. Single back formation. He will... No, he'll fake. Here's the pass downfield. No, incomplete pass. I think it was tipped.
That was a very well-developed play. The quarterback had plenty of time. The receiver had a yard, but the pass, which wasn't bad, it was pretty good actually, just hung up there a little bit too much, got tipped at the last second, bringing up the 4th down, but actually doing a little bit better job of protecting the quarterback this half.
And here's Vince Teodoro. He will return the punt again. See if he could get a return this time.
We're close.
Yep. And the clock is running. So here comes the punt. I think Teodoro will he'll let this one go, so the Knights will chase it down.
Well, that's a poor decision. There's no reason why you wouldn't catch that and fair catch it. As a result, the ball rolls down to about within the 5-yard line for the Griffins anyway. So not sure what he was thinking there. Obviously, you want to avoid that big Knight bounce. Gave it an extra 15 to 20 yards.
Yeah. I saw Coach Lokank down on the sideline. Didn't look so happy.
Yeah, Coach Lokank, in charge of a lot of the special teams, coordinates that, in addition to being the wide receivers coach. Coach Lokank also kind enough to print out the statistics for us every week so that we can tell everybody what's going on and do a better job and let you know which players are doing what. So thank you, Coach Lokank.
Yeah, he's also a great biology teacher here at the school.
Kind of an interesting family dynamic. His brother Luke, a coach and teacher at Lincoln Way Central, so he is on the Lincoln Way Central sideline.
Wow.
So I actually just ran into Mrs. Lokank on the sideline. Her husband, who was a longtime coach at Sandburg and then Providence, he couldn't even come to the game tonight. It's just too intense. He can't deal with it.
Really?
So, the family dynamic, the whole situation is it's just too much for him.
Yeah,
so he's doing his thing. He's actually at Aurelio, she told me. So hopefully he's enjoying himself, and he'll find out what happened later.
Right, that sibling rivalry a little too much for him?
Yeah, ideally the game would end in a tie for him, but obviously that's not going to happen tonight. But, Mr. Lokank was a great coach in his own right. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when you hear Coach Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, when you hear him talk about some of his influences, one of the first names that he'll mention is Larry Lokank, because that was his coach at Sandburg. So obviously a great coach, and obviously with the two sons coaching here at Lincoln Way, that tradition continues.
All right. Well, the Griffins got the first down, running it up the middle. Clock running, 1:30 left to go in the third quarter. Blake Anders still in. Blake Winkler looks like his day could be done unless he takes at least one more snap, which I don't think that'll happen. I think Anders will take the snaps. And he'll hand it off up the middle. He'll get a few tough yards, about 5 of them.
Made by number 77, David Brinson.
One of the things I wonder is, have the Griffins basically decided that regardless of the down and distance, are we done throwing the ball for the day? I mean, I could see how maybe that would be the case with the score what it is, but at the same time, you'd like to give Blake Anders some game reps, and he is getting game reps. He's handing the ball off, but you'd like to see him have an opportunity to throw the ball.
Yeah,
If something, God forbid, should happen to Winkler, he's going to be the guy, and you'd hate for the first pass he throws to be in a critical situation.
Right. Well, I know Anders has a good arm, so I think he's looking to show it.
Oh, he wants to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He wants to have the kid gloves taken off, and he wants to be able to throw the ball. And it has nothing to do with him at this point. It has to do with the score. That's kind of what's dictating the style of play at the moment.
And 10 seconds left in the third quarter, so that would probably do it. We'll go to the fourth quarter with a score of 42-0, Griffins.
Yeah, it's amazing that running clock makes a huge difference.
Right.
It really does, because that quarter seemed to fly by.
Right.
The third quarter to close. No scoring in the third quarter.
Well, good quarter by the Griffins. Just running some plays, running the clock, and hopefully, going home with the win.
Well, one thing that they want to do, regardless of if the starters are in, if the second string is in, they would love to preserve that shutout. Unable to do it last week. They give up the late touchdown. I think it was in the late third quarter. They would love to shut this team out.
Right. Especially that, they're our sister school, and you'd love to beat them.
with Dr. Jensen and Jeremy Toblaski. He's one of our GTV members. He usually does ground cam. And we have, obviously, our principal of our school. So, Dr. Jensen, what is one of the things you're going to miss here at being the principal of Lincoln Way?
Well, most of all, I'll miss the kids. We have the best students in everywhere. It's amazing, the spirit that we have, and that's what I'm really going to miss, is the kids.
We're going to miss you, too. Jeremy, so of all your 4 years being at Lincoln Way, what is one of the things you're going to miss, too?
I think truly I miss the Fight Song Fridays where everyone's running in the halls, cheering and screaming and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be something good to miss. So what are your plans for after high school?
I'm actually going to the University of St. Francis. I'm planning to get my teaching certificate, become a math teacher, and hopefully one day come back here and teach.
That's really cool. Now, Dr. Jensen, what are you going to do with all your free time?
Well, I'm really looking forward to that first day it snows, and I can just light a fire and read a good book. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
That's going to be really good.
Susan, we have a question for you. Since you are also a senior sporting the class of 2011 shirt, tell us, what is one of your fondest memories of Lincoln Way East?
Well, I'm really going to miss hanging out with my friends and going to the football games and doing interviews like this. So I'm really going to miss it here. So, yeah.
Great day to be a Griffin.
Thank you. Thank you for both of you guys' time. You're welcome.
You were going to ask me about my fondest memory.
Well, thank you, Susan Hamilton, on a great interview with Jeremy Tobleski and our, I hate to say this, our departing principal, Dr. Jensen. This is her last year. We're going to miss her terribly. And, of course, while the interview was going on, the Griffins able to score another touchdown on a long run.
Wow, yeah, really long run. So Griffins, I think, like you said, they might be done passing for today, and it shows that their run is really good. And will keep up his streak, 6 for 6 going now.
So we may have given up on the pass just because of the situation and the score, but that doesn't mean we've given up on scoring. So 49-0 now with a lot of time left. 11 minutes, 15 seconds left. The clock has stopped at the moment. I believe that even with the running clock, perhaps in between scores, because there is a lot of time in between a touchdown and a kickoff, that they still run it. But generally what will happen is you'll see on incomplete passes or runs out of bounds, the clock will continue to run. So that's why the third quarter went by so quickly.
Of course, it's senior night here, and Jeremy Topolowski and Susan Hamilton had on their senior shirts of 2011.
Yeah, kind of a cool moment. Susan Hamilton, who's known for her interviews, is interviewing Dr. Jensen. And Dr. Jensen takes the mic from her and says, well, Susan, I have a question for you since you're a senior. So I think maybe we need to give Dr. Jensen an honorary Griffin Television T-shirt.
Yeah. Gotta order them. All right, now the Knights will return it. And again, not so great of a return for the Knights. They'll return it to about the 20.
Return on the play.
So at this point, if you are a Knight, your goal is to get on the board. Okay, right. You don't want to get shut out. That's what you're playing for right here.
And there's that running clock. 1st and 10 on the 20 for the Knights. They're in their own territory, trying to get to the Griffin's lair. And they will run from sideline to sideline, getting their play. Sprinting down. There's a single back formation. I see a little movement, and offense will send a man moving, but there'll be another run up the middle, but he'll break away, but he'll trip and make it to about the 29 or 24. 10 minutes.
Well, with the running clock, what you're going to see is about a play a minute. Okay, I mean, that's about what it is right now. And if that's the case, this game is going to fly by these last 10 minutes. Okay, 1 to if you really look at the seconds, 1 to 1.5 plays per minute. So, we're seeing the end of this game here because it does go by so fast once you turn that clock loose.
Yeah, 2 Griffin defenders bring the running back down for a loss.
Obviously, when under normal conditions, an incomplete pass, things like that. I mean, you could end up running 3-4 plays over the course of a minute, but certainly that's not the case in these circumstances.
Right. So it looks like the Knights are hurrying up a little bit, getting to the huddle a little quicker. I see the offensive line getting to the line a little bit quicker. Sends a man in motion. Will hike the ball, fakes a handoff, another play-action play. They love that play, but it's tipped by the Griffins. So
yeah, almost
picked
intercepted
off.
by John Wessler. He's able to get the one hand on it, but just a little bit too high to come down with. And down this many points on 4th down, you might say, well, why not go for it? I mean, let's do something here. But just because you're down doesn't mean you're automatically going to go for it every 4th down. I mean, you have to believe you've got a reasonable expectation of getting it. And 3rd down and 9 when you haven't really done a lot offensively. You're not looking to give the Griffins the ball in their own territory where they're going to score again and get into the 50-point range.
Yeah. Another new punt returner for the Griffins. That's number 82, Jordan Hellman. He's a wide receiver. He's a junior, 6 foot, 165.
Yeah, he did a nice job of kind of coming up and catching that ball on the run. I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure the Knights thought he was going to fair catch it, but he had every intention of catching that and trying to break a tackle.
Yeah, that's his first punt return of the day, trying to prove something to Coach Lokank and Coach Devonar that he can return punts in place of J.J. Robertson.
Well, and for some of these juniors who maybe don't always get a chance to play, they might be behind a senior on the depth chart or whatever, you want to use this opportunity to show not only that you can help the team the rest of this season, but next year when you're a senior, you can be the man.
Right. And Blake Anders in the wing formation hands it off, and they'll run to the side, and he'll break away, but out of bounds. It's number 26, Dean Del Santo.
Timberland and 14, Landon Hudson.
And that will be a 1st down, so the Griffins once again pretty deep in Knight territory. In all my years here, and this marks number 7, I don't believe I've seen a Griffin team score 56 points in a game. And of course I could be wrong, my memory isn't the greatest, but if they should do that, that would be quite an accomplishment. And of course it's been a long time since a Griffins Knights game was this lopsided.
Another new running back, that's number 29, Logan Newman, getting first carry today and getting some pain too.
Led by number 30, Moreno.
Running clock, 6:30 left in the 4th quarter.
Third ball was number 61, Nick Rowland.
And as we suspected, even in certain situations, certain downs where perhaps generally you would expect to pass, the Griffins have sort of shied away from that given the score, so running the ball every single play, but doing a good job and still moving the chains.
Here's the hike. Newman with a few tough yards.
Yeah, that fullback dive right off the center's butt. 2 or 3 tough yards there.
Newman on the carry.
5:50 left. This 4th quarter starting to fly by. It's 3rd and 6 on the 18-yard line, so Griffins in the red zone and scoring range. And even if they don't get the 1st down here, Will can come in and put it through. There's Teodoro.
Trying to get outside. I don't know if he's going to be able to. It's going to be close.
He got it. I think he ran into the official who's holding the 1st down marker.
Lawrence Carlson.
Looks like they're going to spot it just a little bit short of the 1st down. So kind of a decision for Lincoln Way. You could kick it here. You're certainly within Will's range.
Here comes Anders, though.
But at the same time, if you feel like it's a manageable 1st down, and it looks like it's going to be closer to 2 yards, but they are going to go for it here. So we'll see.
I think Coach Devonar is one of those coaches who, loves to go to the risk, loves that.
Well, it looks like a timeout was called. We'll see which team, in fact, called it. No, officials timeout, so they will run that clock.
All right, there's Newman. Will they hand it off? Yep, it's Newman. Did he get the first down?
I don't think so. They ran the ball straight up the gut. They made positive yardage, but I don't think they got enough for a first. We'll see if they measure.
Nope, the defense will come out,
Officials time out for measurement.
but they will measure.
Not the greatest sign of confidence when the defense is already out in the field. But the referees think, oh, no, hold on a second. We still probably want to measure here. It's close enough.
4 minutes with still the clock running with them measuring.
Great shot right there by our cameraman. And look at how close that was. That was literally just a couple inches. I mean, that is a great shot. I mean, what is this, the NFL? My gosh.
Thank you,
Great job,
GTV.
cameraman, and good job in the trailer down below. Thanks to those guys who are doing a great job. I mean, when we do a broadcast like this, we have to start getting ready right after school. We've got a ton of equipment that needs to be brought out of storage and loaded up into our trailer that we then drive down here. It takes about an hour to set up. Anytime you're doing a TV broadcast, there's a million things that can go wrong and often do, so there's a lot of troubleshooting that goes on. And then, of course, the game itself is, 3 hours long or maybe more. So by the time it's all said and done, we get started about 2:45. By the time we get everything cleaned up, it's about 10 o'clock. So that's a long day on top of a long day at school.
And the stuff that we load up, we have our own GTV van, and if you want to make a small donation for a new van, that'd be great.
You have a problem with our van?
It's starting to break down a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't take it on any road trips, but it gets us from here to there.
All right.
I have actually had to take the van out on the open road to pick things up over the years, and it's always a little bit of a frightening experience. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. The air doesn't work, the radio doesn't work.
Ooh.
There's very little on it that actually works.
Andres tripped up by number
Well,
30.
running clock, 2:30 left. And now number 2, defensive back Josh Vashley. 2 minutes left, so the Knights will probably just get a run here because they've gone to it all day. Sends a man in motion. They won't. They will go with play action. Here comes the Griffins. Will they get him? Yeah, it's a complete pass. So they haven't had many complete passes today. So
That might be the first, actually, to be honest with you.
maybe.
We are interactive this evening, so looking at our GTV inbox, I see we have a question from Phil in Frankfurt. Phil wants to know, Mr. Galligan, you sound like a professionally trained broadcaster. Have you done any professional broadcasting? Well, no, Phil. This is just something I do on the side.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the compliment. And if there are any talent scouts out there, please contact me. No, I'm very happy here at Lincoln Way. So, Phil, thank you for the compliments.
With 1 minute left here in the fourth quarter. Got any fun plans for this weekend?
We'll see. I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm going to the Notre Dame game.
Right,
It'll
I'll
be fun
see
if
you
they
there.
win. Actually, I have to leave early to go to a wedding. People should know better than to invite me to weddings on Notre Dame Saturdays, but I suppose I can leave early this once.
Yeah, well, I'll be there with you. Yeah, I'll be on campus with you. So,
Well, why don't you tell everybody what happened the last time you went to a Notre Dame game?
Well, they played Stanford, and if we want to say it, it was a complete blowout.
All right, well, how about this? I'd prefer you don't go because you're bad luck. 20 seconds left. If the Knights hurry, they will get off one last play. Let's see what they decide to do. I mean, why not throw it up for grabs at this
Right.
point, right?
Right. Here's the Griffins. Yep, they'll run it up the middle, so that will do it for the game, it looks like.
Well, amazing how quickly the game goes when
Right.
the running clock is on. I mean, it really is. It absolutely flew by. So we'll try to wrap this up as quick as we can here. Griffins, good. Knights, not so hot today. Obviously, a very young team. I believe they've got a number of sophomore starters, so that actually bodes well for next year and obviously 2 years from now. They're rebuilding. They're a young team. The numbers are down a little bit. They got a new coach, so these guys obviously got to buy into what the new coach is selling. But it's good that they're getting the experience from the younger guys. And if you're the Griffins, ever since that Weed North game, it was like they sort of, they regrouped. What went wrong, what happened here, and they've been kind of a juggernaut ever since then. So I would imagine that the Griffins are going to continue to make some progress with those rankings, and just exciting to watch them play right now.
Yeah, I think the Knights, they have a lot of potential, but this boosts up the Griffins to 7-1. Hopefully more in the rankings. So we'll see what goes on from now.
Well, I understand that the camera is on us, so I'll give you a wave down there. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You can look forward to, I hope, at least another 1 or 2 broadcasts, probably of home playoff games, because as I said, that GTV van isn't roadworthy, so we generally don't make it onto the road. But I would imagine we'll be hosting a home playoff game, and hopefully more than one. So for Dan Galligan and my partner Brendan King, have a great night, and we'll see you. Take care.